All right, guys, joining me at this time is yet another competitor at the Las Vegas Combat Sports Coverage Super Fight. I'm super excited for this one. Zindy Zepeda. I just messed it up. 140-pound purple belt. We practiced that one like 3 times, and I still messed it up. How you doing today, Cindy?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Zepeda.
There you go. Told you.
Uh, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Tell me a little bit about yourself, man. How did you start your whole, jiu-jitsu journey?
Well, I actually started because of my brother. I was a fourth grader when my brother started getting the idea in my head, and I didn't start with wrestling. I started with well, not MMA, sorry, with wrestling, not
Mhm.
jiu-jitsu. So he was like, you should be an MMA fighter. Like, Ronda was barely getting on the UFC and creating girls in this whole MMA world. So he's like, if you become a wrestler, like it's a tool that you get to use. And I started off with this. So I joined my high school year. I went from cheerleading to wrestling.
How was that?
It was actually like okay. I don't think I was ever. Well, I'm a girly girl, but I don't think I was ever really like that far away from being tough. I feel like I
Yeah.
always had tough, but wrestling brought it out of me a little more.
Oh, for
Um,
sure.
I joined karate because my whole family from my dad's side is black belts in karate,
Mhm.
but I didn't end up sticking with karate because my brother told me that I needed to have a better grappling game if I wanted to be an MMA fighter. So then he's like, I suggest you join jiu-jitsu. So my journey started with jiu-jitsu in 2016. Um, when my wrestling season ended. So after that, I started doing jiu-jitsu and wrestling every single day in a mix. And yeah, I kind of like just took over my life and I just became a grappler. And ever since then, I haven't quit and I've been training every day.
Now, you went to college for wrestling, correct?
I'm still in college for
You're
wrestling.
still in college for wrestling. Oh,
Yeah,
okay, okay, nice.
I'm barely going to be a junior this semester coming up.
So how do you feel like you've taken, from the wrestling mats and transitioned that into BJJ? How have you worked those two together?
I feel like it's been pretty easy for me because I kind of understood it at the
Mhm.
beginning. Hard because I'll be like going to wrestling practice pulling guard, or or I'll be going to jiu-jitsu practice and I'll be going to my stomach trying to protect myself and stand up instead of like um, doing jiu-jitsu. And I feel like wrestling has helped me because it gives me that aggression, that understanding of top pressure, how to move my body, how to drop my hips, how to be in the right position, how to put my head in the right places in order for me to defend from certain situations. And jiu-jitsu has helped me with my wrestling, how not to be on my back and be comfortable in uncomfortable positions, because as a wrestler, I'm not comfortable on my back, but because of jiu-jitsu, I learned to counter that. So now I'm very well-rounded in both, I
It's
believe.
funny that you say that because especially like at our gym, we get a lot of like the high school wrestlers that'll come in and they're not comfortable on their back. So it feels like you've already kind of got past that bubble.
Yeah, I mean, I've been doing wrestling since my freshman year of high school. It's been 7 years coming up, but I think I transitioned it because my freshman year, when I everything did happen, I wasn't just a wrestler and then
Hmm.
transitioning to jiu-jitsu. I wasn't just jiu-jitsu and then wrestling. I was both. Like I did 3 months of
So
wrestling and
you're a
then I got
pure
into,
grappler at this point.
yeah, pretty much. So I don't know. I kind of mixed it up. I didn't just see it as one sport, but I knew when I was doing one and the other.
Now, do you have aspirations to do MMA after you're done with college?
Yeah, I do actually. It's been a dream of mine since fourth grade. I want to become an MMA fighter. I feel like I will become an MMA fighter. I just have to take my slow routes and get there eventually. Everybody's path is different, and I chose mine to be grappling first and then continue my striking and then get into MMA. I did striking for a little bit, just practice my hands here or there.
Hmm.
But obviously, when you're a grappler, it's like your main focus is grappling.
Yeah, for sure. Tell me how this whole matchup come about for you in Vegas.
I got messaged by an Instagram person, the combat
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, Thomas.
Yeah, Thomas, there you go. And they just offered me a super fight, and I was like, sure, let's do it. I'm always willing to compete. I love competing. I love getting after it. I like to test myself and see what is out there and what I need to fix. I'm a strong believer at I must fail in order to succeed. So if
Hmm.
I can help in any way possible in order to succeed, I will do it.
Now, have you done any like IBJJF tournaments, anything like that, or mostly just super fights?
Most have been super fights. I've done little tournaments like World League, Grappling
Mm.
X, Americans Open, stuff like that, but nothing really major towards jiu-jitsu besides my super fights. That's just because in high school I was in wrestling and it was constant wrestling, wrestling, wrestling. Every single weekend I'll be at a tournament. There's not really a break for wrestlers when they're in season, and
Yeah.
when I'll do just one, one little tournament or two throughout off season, and then I'll go back to wrestling and it's the grind time again. So it was pretty hard to do both when I was in high school, especially since I was so young.
So with all that wrestling experience, it's safe to say that you shine really good underneath those bright lights.
Yeah, I feel like I don't feel stress. I don't feel pressure. I kind of learned that I work hard, and when people doubt themselves, and they're like, "Oh, I'm afraid, I'm this, I'm that," it's because you didn't work hard, and doubt comes because it's an illusion. And if you don't want doubt to exist, and work hard, work too hard enough for that doubt not to exist. I don't know.
No, for sure, 100%. Now, you're a purple belt. How long? What's like your jiu-jitsu lineage?
Well, my purple belt was handed to me January of this year. I
Mhm.
just purple belt. I took a year off for jiu-jitsu because of wrestling. When I
Yeah.
wrestled my freshman year in college, I was just focused on my wrestling, so I took 1 year off. So I do have 6 years of experience with jiu-jitsu, but I was a white belt for a year, got transferred to blue belt. I was a blue belt for 3 years, and now I'm barely starting my purple belt journey.
For sure. How have you enjoyed it so far?
I love it. The color's so cute.
Yeah,
Uh,
no, a lot of people too. You'll see a lot of guys and girls. They'll like, get to their blue belt and they're just like they're done. I've done what I needed to do, and it drives me wild because I'm like, dude, you're just barely scratching the surface as a blue belt. Like there's so much more in front of you.
yeah, I definitely I remember my when I was a white belt, I only did rear naked chokes, and I was like, I hate arm bars. I'm never doing arm bars. And then I was like, I just want to take the back because that's where I was comfortable. And then I became a
Right.
blue. I started taking arm bars, and I'm like, whoa, like I love arm bars. And now that I'm a purple belt, I have a whole different technique than what I used to have, and it's like I'm a whole different person, and I've learned how to like transition in order for me to be comfortable in these scenarios as a purple belt, and I
Hmm.
can see the version of myself as a brown belt and then the version of myself as a black belt. And I don't believe that the color really determines your skills, because there's some people that just get their belts handed to them. And it's like,
100%.
you may be white belt level and your coach is like, here's a purple, whatever. Because I don't know, some people just get it. But I feel like I definitely separate myself from that because my coach is highly um, a big person on you must earn your belt, and belt doesn't determine your success. Like I could go out there, beat a black belt that just got handed to them and think I'm the best ever, and then there's an actual black belt that worked their ass off for their black belt, and I'll get my ass beat. So
No, for sure. My professor is the same way. He's super old school. He was part of the one of the first 12 Americans to ever get a black belt. So he's super old school with it. And same thing. You definitely have to earn it, and it's not going to be handed to you. He's like, I don't care how great you are when you walk through the doors. No one's getting handed their first stripe. And then even like that, like you could show up to every class for a year and you might not get a stripe because if you don't earn it, you're just not going to get it.
yeah, 100. You have to learn the technique. It's not like just beating up on people. If you don't have that proper technique, it's
Yeah.
never gonna work. Like I competed back in December at a tournament, my last tournament before the one I have upcoming, and I beat the purple belt or a blue belt. I was blue belt level by then. I beat the blue belt in under a minute, and she got second, I got first, and she got handed her purple belt, which is cool. But in my viewpoints, like obviously you must fail and everything, but
Yeah,
I would not want to get handed a purple belt after I just lost.
for
And
sure. Yeah, that's one thing my professor he's a stickler about. He's like, I hate when I see, especially in MMA, you see a guy who didn't take anyone down, didn't win by submission, and then they get promoted. There's what the hell is this?
Yeah, I told my coach right after that we got off the stage and everything. I was like, don't ever give me a belt if I lose. I was like, ever. I was like, I'll fight you. I'll throw it. But obviously, my coach. But I was like, I would throw it, and he started laughing. He's like, no. He's like, you're not even gonna get anything coming up. And then I got my purple belt. But he likes to joke around.
Who's your coach?
His name is Joshua Dubinsky. He
And
trained.
what's his lineage?
So he trains at well, he trains a Hurricane right now because that's his gym, but he comes from Palm Springs. Jiu-Jitsu. His professor passed away 3 years ago, but he did get his black belt also from Joe Morera, and he
That's
trained.
funny. That's who my professor got his black belt under Joe Murray.
Damn, look at us.
Small world.
Yeah. So we have similar techniques. He trains with Cub Swanson here and there. He helped him get ready for his last fight, not his last previous fight, but so that one fight where Cub was trying to go with the Gracies and they kind of like, kicked him out in a way.
Yeah.
I don't know heard about that.
Yeah, well, yeah, he was fighting Crone.
Yeah.
Actually, I had the shirt on yesterday for the UFC Tampa card.
Well, that's what my coach was helping him for because he had to go back to his roots. And he mentions on his Instagram how my coach, he's opened doors and everything and had to go back. And Cub's actually one of the persons that brought my coach into jiu-jitsu. So it's pretty
That's
interesting.
awesome, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's cool. In like jiu-jitsu community, it's really so small. Like when you really think about it, compared to like especially other sports like wrestling and all that other stuff. But if you do something dirty, like you get kicked out of that circle real quick.
Yeah. It's
I enjoy like the friendliness of it. You know what I mean? Like we might be trying to kill each other for 5 minutes, but afterwards we're gonna be all hugging and have fun.
definitely. I was just training yesterday and me and my coach were going at it and I tried to rip his whole arm apart, but obviously with control. But at the same time I was like, I'm trying to rip your whole like arm away because I want to win this match. However, at the end we, settled it. It's always like that with my training partner, so I enjoy that as well.
Yeah, you have a super competitive aspect too. Obviously, it comes from your wrestling as well. You guys are super grinders.
I feel like actually my I do have an aggression. I also have a flow style where I'm like very technical, very flowy because of my jiu-jitsu, and that kind of helps me with my wrestling. I'm not just like doing stuff to do it. Like wrestlers are like everywhere, but because of my jiu-jitsu and the technique and the understanding that I have of putting one and two together and everything, I think it helped my wrestling to not just grab or like snap down or create like these angles for no reason. Like if I'm gonna create an angle, I have to do it for a reason. I'm not just gonna grab you just to grab you and try to have control. Like I'm grabbing you to attack. It's not just something that I'm gonna wait to see what you do. So I think the aggression comes in because I like to be like um, getting after it,
Hmm.
but my technique's very like lenient because of my jiu-jitsu. So
Now,
that's
without giving away too much of your game plan, what is your path to victory on August 7th?
without giving too much my path to victory. I don't know. I just know that I personally always worry about myself. I don't care about my opponent. I let my coaches kind of deal with that and kind of guide me towards like, hey, we need to fix this. Not really like um, worry or stress towards my opponent. Obviously, it's good to study my opponent's game, and I do, but it's more towards my game and what I could fix and what I need to do. So pretty much just do what I usually do on a daily basis. Train hard, go after it. I mean, I compete every day with myself. I compete with my training partners. I understand my struggles, my best like places that I'm at, and just fix it throughout the time. And then when I get there, just outshine myself and get after and take over.
Now, what weight class do you compete in wrestling?
I compete at 130.
So,
So
what you do 130 at wrestling, you're gonna do 140 now. Where would you fight?
I'll fight at 125.
125. Have you made that cut before?
Yeah, I
Uh,
wrestled in high school at 126. That was my senior year, and I mean, I won state. I became
oh,
undefeated champion
nice.
of California at 126. 1 pound difference won't make a much of a big deal if I go for 125. I feel like
How do you
that's
feel?
at 125 or right now.
Yeah, 125.
I feel strong. If you see some pictures at me at 125, I'm pretty solid there.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
that's a pretty deep division, especially right now. You got like Valentina Shevchenko, and she's just controlling that entire division at this point. I mean, eventually that might be somebody you have to deal with.
Yeah, I mean, I look forward to it, obviously. I strongly believe that, I mean, everybody, always will say, like, this is my goal, this is my dream. But I strongly believe that this is my life, this is meant for me. And I'm willing to beat anybody. I mean, I went from wrestling my freshman year, winning no matches, being the scrub of the team, whatever, to becoming an undefeated state champ. I went from that to going to college my freshman year, getting fourth in the nation. Um, it is what it is. And I mean, I'm still going after it. And in order for me to become the best, like I said, I must fail in order to succeed. So I can't wait to fail so much in order to win that, matchup whenever it does happen. I don't know. I look forward to everything. I think that when it does come, I already face a lot of adversity that I will end up just grinding it out. At the end of the day, it's a mind game as well. It's not just like technique and everything. You have to feel good and you have to believe in yourself in order to make it happen. And if I say, oh my God, she's so good, she's this, not saying that she's not, obviously, she's a champion. But
Mhm.
if I don't have that belief in myself, then it will never happen. And I feel like I have that possibility to take over one day.
Yeah, I believe Conor McGregor said something like, "Winners focus on themselves, and then losers focus on the winners."
Yeah, and that's exactly what I live by. I live a lot of what Connor says. Connor actually has a very strong mindset. And
100%.
yeah, and I learned a lot of his mindset my freshman year, and that is the reason why I was able to become an undefeated state champ because of him and his way of thinking. I learned the law of attraction, as he mentioned in one of his interviews by my freshman year, and I learned to attract everything I believe in. If I feel like this is what I will make it happen. And I don't know, I have that strong ability to make it happen. And I only focus on myself, and I'm not stressing about who's training where, because there's so many organizations and so many places that you could train at. You could train at the best place ever, and you never become a champion because
Yeah.
you don't put in the work ethic. Your mindset is weak. Or you could train at the worst place ever, like Connor. Connor was in the garage for a while, and next thing you know, he was the best in the world. And it's like, why? How? If there's other people that have everything given to them, because he was able to believe in himself so much that he ended up taking over, and he didn't need nobody else or any popular gym or anything to be proven that. And I feel like I'm the same way. Just because I'm not up there right now doesn't mean I won't be up there soon.
Yeah, 100%. Because like even like you said about with Connor, John Kavanaugh wasn't a hugely known coach before Connor. So I mean, if you look at it, and they just really pretty much just elevated themselves.
Yeah. And it happens. I mean, you just have to work. Like, once you become good, a lot of people become comfortable. And a lot of
Yes.
people are like, oh, I made it, I'm good, like whatever. I'm not comfortable. I've never been satisfied. I always want more. And that's always what I've been on it since my freshman year. Like, till this day, I work out 4 workouts a day, 3 workouts a day. I train 2 times my jiu-jitsu, or 1 time jiu-jitsu, then wrestling, and then I do my weights, and then I do my cardio, and I do everything in one day. And it's not because um I am forced to. I feel like it's because I love to do it. And that's the difference between those that are like, oh, I have to do this. I don't see it as a should I go, should I not. I see it like a responsibility. Like, this is what I have to do. And I never put anything in front of it. If I have training, hey, guess what? I'm busy. I have training. I don't make excuses for anything. So I don't know. I feel like I'm still in this battle where I feel like I'm not satisfied. And I don't believe I ever will be till I get to where I want to be. And I don't know how far I want to go. I want to become an MMA fighter. I want to become the best in the world. And I mean, I want to defeat everybody and defend my title, but something maybe much more greater could come after that.
It's funny that you said that, 'cause I have this sticker right here. It says, "I can't. I have jiu-jitsu tonight."
That's literally me. Like, all my friends know me that I always cancel plans, not cancel, but more like I will push aside plans in order for me to just to be at practice.
And that's the thing a lot of people don't realize is jiu-jitsu, wrestling, MMA, it's not just a physical sport. It's truly a mental thing, and I really feel like you've already mastered that at this point.
I'm not perfect, you know. I'm human. I have my ups, downs. Sometimes it gets the best of me. I'm like, ah, but I do believe that I get myself up the next second and I'm like, okay, it's back to grind time. You know, I'm not gonna fake it and say every day's the best because it's not. And that's human nature. It's you're
Yes.
not gonna be perfect, you're gonna have ups, downs. But I strongly believe that if you're able to pick yourself back up and not quit, you're good. Because once you quit, it's over. And as long as you keep going and you keep fixing those mistakes, you keep, you know, grinding it out, it will continue to be an open door for your dreams to come true.
Now, I know you just said that you're constantly in the gym and you're constantly working out, but what does Cindy do off the mats?
What does Cindy do off the mats? Huh. I mean, I work right now, but I'm pretty much with my family or friends here and there. I know I'm a very adventurous person. I like going to the beach. I like going to amusement parks, but really outside the mats, I try to find a way back to the mats. But yeah, I don't know. I pretty much just spend time with family and friends. I don't really do much. I don't party. I never drank in my life. I've never smoked. Not taking it away from anybody. Like, if you do that, good for you. I'm not a judgmental person, but I've never done that. So I'm not big on the whole, like, I want to go party tonight and skip away. Like, I'm 100% just grinding.
That's good. That's good. Now, I don't want to take too much more of your time. I know you have to get to work, but before I let you go, I want to give you an opportunity to give a thank you and to your teammates, sponsors, anyone that's really helped you along your MMA journey.
Well, thank you for everybody. You know, my coaches have always been by my side. They've always been the most motivating people I have, whether it's from jiu-jitsu, from wrestling, anybody that I'm surrounded with. I always have a strong bond with them. And I obviously thank my family for all the support they've always given me and the opportunity to continue grinding and supporting me outside. Obviously, a lot of them don't do the sport, so it takes a lot for them to try to understand me. And I think a lot of my family is very supportive, and I couldn't be any more grateful for that. So
Where can the fans find you on social media?
my Instagram is mainly where I'm at. My name is Cindy Zepeda _ all in one. And I have Twitter and Snapchat, but I'm not really on it. It's mainly just Instagram. That's where I'm at. So if people do want to reach me, just my Instagram.
Excellent. There you guys have it. Cindy Zepeda is going to be in a 140-pound purple belt matchup here at Combat Sports Coverage, Las Vegas Open, submission only grappling. I can't wait to commentate your fight and see what you continue to do in your future. I feel like it's going to be bright, no matter what path you choose.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Well, of course. Thank you for your time this morning and have a good one.
You too.